My wife divorced me and emptied our accounts on her brother's orders. All our money gone, even the kids' college fund. So I'm Mark, 38, and I'm a mechanic. Always been the steady, reliable one in the family. Not flashy like my wife's brother, Richard. He's Mr. Big Shot real estate developer. Always treated me like I was less than. Claire, my wife, always seemed a little insecure about money. I guess Richard fed into that. He's always had this hold over her. And now, well, now I'm starting to think he's behind all of this. She's acting completely different, like she's been brainwashed or something. I don't know what to do. This is a nightmare. Should I just give up? It was a Tuesday, just a normal Tuesday. I came home from the shop, smelling like grease and sweat, but happy. I had just fixed Mrs. Henderson's old Buick, the one she calls Betsy. I was looking forward to seeing Claire and the kids. Lily had a soccer game that night. I walked in, expecting the usual chaos, toys scattered, the smell of dinner cooking. But the house was eerily quiet, too quiet. Claire was sitting at the kitchen table, a single sheet of paper in front of her. She didn't even look up when I came in. My gut twisted. Something was wrong, very wrong. Claire, what's going on? She finally looked at me and her eyes, they were cold. Empty, like I was a stranger. She slid the paper across the table, divorce papers, my heart stopped. What is this? My voice was barely a whisper. I'm leaving you, Mark. She said it so calmly, so matter-of-factly, like she was talking about the weather. I felt a wave of nausea wash over me. Leaving? Where are you going? What are you talking about? I've already moved out. I'm staying with Richard. Richard, of course, he was behind this, I knew it. Richard, what the hell does Richard have to do with this? He's helping me, he's going to help us start over. Start over without me, without the kids, my voice cracked. I could feel the panic rising in my chest. Then she dropped the bomb, the one that completely shattered me. I've taken care of everything, Mark. Don't worry about the finances. I've transferred everything to a new account. Everything? What do you mean everything? Our savings, checking, even the kids' college fund, it's all safe now. Richard is managing it for us. Safe, managing it? My blood ran cold. I felt like I was going to be sick. You took the kids' college fund? Are you kidding me? I roared. I couldn't control myself. She just shrugged. It's fine, Mark. Richard will make sure it grows. He knows what he's doing. That's when I saw it, the smug look on her face, the utter lack of remorse. It was like she was a different person. Richard had poisoned her. He had turned her against me. I stumbled back, my legs feeling weak. I couldn't breathe. This couldn't be happening. This was a nightmare. My wife, my life, my kids' future. Gone, just like that. I tried to talk to her. Like really talk. I thought maybe if I could just get through to her, make her see what Richard was doing. I went to Richard's place. That monstrosity of a house he calls a home. It's like a goddamn museum, all marble and glass. I felt so out of place. My grease-stained hands were clenched into fists. I rang the doorbell, my heart pounding in my chest. Claire answered. She looked nervous, which was a first. She usually looked down her nose at me when I came around Richard's. Mark, what are you doing here? I need to talk to you, to both of you. Richard appeared behind her, a smirk plastered on his face. Well, look what the cat dragged in. To what do we owe this pleasure? He emphasized the word pleasure like it was some kind of sick joke. This isn't a joke, Richard. This is my life, our kids' lives. I tried to keep my voice steady, but it was shaking. Oh, don't be so dramatic, Mark. Claire is simply making some smart financial decisions, something you clearly haven't been capable of. Smart? You call stealing our kids' college funds smart? You're a thief, Richard. He just laughed, like it was the funniest thing he'd ever heard. Stealing? Don't be ridiculous. I'm simply managing Claire's assets. Protecting them from, well, let's just say certain financial inadequacies. He glanced at me, his eyes full of contempt. I turned to Claire. Claire, please, tell me this isn't happening. Tell me you didn't actually agree to this. She wouldn't even look me in the eye. Richard knows what he's doing, Mark. He's going to make us all a lot of money. Money? Is that all you care about now? What about our family? What about our kids? Don't you dare lecture me about our children, Mark. I'm doing this for them, for their future. You clearly can't provide for them. You're just a mechanic. She spat the word out like it was poison. My stomach dropped. That's when it hit me. This wasn't about money. This was about control, Richard's control. He had twisted everything, poisoned her against me. He had made her believe I was the problem. I felt a wave of dizziness wash over me. I had to get out of there. The air was thick with their lies and manipulation. I couldn't breathe. You're both insane, I whispered. I turned and walked away. I could hear Richard's mocking laughter behind me. As I drove away, my hands gripping the steering wheel so tight my knuckles were white, I knew. This wasn't just a divorce. This was war. and I was going to fight for my kids, no matter what. A week later, and things have gone from bad to nuclear. Richard, that slimy weasel, has rallied the troops. My in-laws, Claire's aunts and uncles, even some cousins I've barely met are all drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm being painted as the irresponsible, deadbeat dad who drove Claire into Richard's loving, financially stable arms. Seriously. My mother-in-law called me yesterday. She actually had the nerve to say, "Mark, you should be grateful to Richard. He's giving Claire and the children a life you could never provide." I almost choked. Grateful? This guy stole my family and she's telling me to be grateful. I hung up on her. Had to, I would have said something I regretted. Then there's the Facebook smear campaign. Cryptic posts about toxic relationships and moving on to better things. Comments from family members praising Claire's bravery and Richard's generosity. It's sickening. I've had to deactivate my account. I can't stand seeing their fake, performative bullshit. But the worst part, the kids. Lily asked me last night, "Daddy, why are you poor?" Poor. My own daughter thinks I'm poor because of what Richard and Claire are telling her. It broke my heart. I tried to explain, but how do you explain this kind of manipulation to an 8-year-old? I'm a mess. I can barely sleep, I can't eat, I feel like I'm losing my mind. I go to work, fix cars, pretend everything is normal, but it's not, it's far from normal. My life is imploding. I'm starting to realize I can't just sit here and take this. I need to fight. I need a lawyer. I need to protect my kids from these vultures. This isn't just about money anymore, it's about their well-being. Richard is poisoning them against me. I have to stop him. I will stop him. I finally broke down and told my sister Sarah. She's a paralegal, sharp as a tack. We haven't always been close, typical sibling stuff. But she's always been protective. I didn't want to burden her with all this. I went over to her place, feeling like a complete failure. I could barely get the words out at first. It all just tumbled out in this jumbled mess. The divorce papers, the emptied accounts, Richard's smug face, Claire's blankness, the kids' college fund. God, that one still stings. Sarah just sat there, listening. She didn't interrupt, didn't judge, just listened. And then, when I was finally done, she just stared at me, her eyes wide. "He took the college fund," she finally whispered. "Yeah," I mumbled, ashamed. "He said he's managing it." Sarah let out a low whistle. "Managing it, right, more like laundering it through one of his failing developments." Laundering? I hadn't even thought of that. I was so focused on the immediate betrayal, the sheer audacity of it, that I hadn't looked at the bigger picture. "Mark," she said, her voice getting sharper. "Richard's been in financial trouble for months. Everyone in the legal community knows it. He's been desperately trying to keep it quiet, but the whispers are getting louder. This isn't about Claire starting over. This is about Richard saving his own ass." Suddenly, everything clicked. It was like a fog lifting. Claire's sudden obsession with money, her unwavering faith in Richard's plan, her coldness towards me, it all made sense. She wasn't being malicious. She was being manipulated, used, and Richard, that bastard, was using her to steal from me, from our kids. "Oh my God," I said, my voice trembling. You think he's using Claire to get to our money? I don't think it, Mark, I know it." She leaned forward, her eyes blazing. "This isn't just a messy divorce, this is fraud." My head was spinning. Fraud. The word echoed in my ears. Suddenly my shame and self-pity turned into a cold, hard anger. I wasn't just a victim anymore. I was a target, and I wasn't going to let Richard get away with this, not a chance in hell. "What do I do, Sarah?" I asked, my voice hoarse. "I don't even know where to start." "First," she said, her voice calm and steady, "we document everything. Every interaction, every phone call, every text message. Then we find you a lawyer. A good one, and we fight back." That conversation, it changed everything. It was like a switch flipped inside me. I wasn't drowning in despair anymore, I was pissed. And I was ready to fight, for myself, for my kids, for the truth. This wasn't over, not by a long shot. I was at my wit's end. Sarah, bless her heart, was digging through bank statements, trying to trace where all the money went. I was pacing her apartment, a nervous wreck, when she let out a gasp. "Mark, you need to see this." She pointed to a series of transactions, small at first, then getting progressively larger, all going to the same account, an account belonging to R. Sterling Enterprises, Richard's shell company. The one everyone whispered was hemorrhaging money faster than a stuck pig. $5,000, $10,000, $25,000. Holy shit, $50,000. My voice rose with each number. This wasn't some misguided investment strategy. This was systematic theft. He was bleeding us dry. "There's more," Sarah said, her voice grim. "Look at the dates. These transfers started before Claire filed for divorce. Before, he was siphoning our money before she even left me. The whole thing, the divorce, the I'm doing this for the kids bullshit, it was all a premeditated lie. A meticulously crafted con to steal everything I had. That was it, the final straw, the moment everything changed. The world shifted on its axis. I felt a surge of rage so intense it was almost physical, like a punch to the gut but from the inside out. My hands were shaking, my heart pounding against my ribs, I saw red. This wasn't about hurt feelings anymore. This wasn't about a broken marriage. This was about criminal activity. This was about my kids' future being stolen right out from under them. I'm going to destroy him, I said, my voice low and dangerous. It wasn't a threat, it was a promise. Sarah looked at me, her eyes wide. She'd seen me angry before, but never like this. This was different, this was primal. Okay, she said, her voice calm and steady. We'll do it smart. We'll get everything we need. We'll get a lawyer and we'll bury him. Right then and there, I stopped being a victim. I stopped feeling sorry for myself. I became a weapon. A weapon forged in betrayal and fueled by righteous fury. Richard wanted a war, he was going to get one. He had messed with the wrong mechanic. He was going to learn that the quiet ones are often the most dangerous. All right, Reddit, buckle up, because this is where shit gets real. After seeing those transfers, the blatant theft, I knew I couldn't just roll over. This wasn't just about getting Claire back, this was about justice. This was about protecting my kids. So I went full on strategic mode. First, I gathered all the hard evidence. Bank statements, emails, even those goddamn saccharine Facebook posts, anything that showed Richard's manipulation and Claire's, well, let's just say her involvement. Printed everything, multiple copies, because you never know when someone might conveniently lose something. Next, Sarah, my sister, the MVP in all of this, hooked me up with a lawyer, a shark. This guy eats guys like Richard for breakfast. We went over everything, the transfers, the timeline, the whole 9 yards. He laid out my options, explained the legal ramifications, and basically said, "We got this." Hearing that, feeling like I finally had someone in my corner, was a game changer. It was like a weight lifted off my chest. Then came the plan for the confrontation. This wasn't going to be some screaming match. This was a chess match, and I was going to checkmate Richard. We decided to do it at his place, his fancy-ass mansion. His territory. That way he couldn't control the narrative, and Sarah would be there as my witness. 2 against 2, even playing field. But the real ace up my sleeve, my phone. I downloaded a recording app, made sure it was legal in my state, always check your local laws, people, and tested it out. I wanted every lie, every manipulative tactic, every smug little chuckle documented. Ironclad proof. Mentally, I prepared myself for the worst. I knew Richard would try to intimidate me, try to gaslight me, try to make me feel small. But I wouldn't let him. I practiced staying calm, breathing deeply, focusing on the facts. I visualized the confrontation, playing out different scenarios in my head. I wouldn't let him rattle me. I wouldn't give him the satisfaction. I knew this was going to be brutal. I knew it would probably be the end of my marriage as I knew it, but I also knew I couldn't back down. My kids were counting on me, and I wasn't going to let them down. Not this time. Richard had underestimated me for too long. He thought I was just a simple mechanic. He was about to find out how resourceful a mechanic can be when pushed to the edge. Game on, Richard. Game fucking on. The air in Richard's opulent living room was thick with tension. It felt like one of those fancy car showrooms, all polished surfaces and uncomfortable silence. Richard sat on his designer sofa, Claire perched nervously beside him, looking like a trapped bird. Sarah, my rock, sat next to me, her presence a silent but powerful support. I placed a neatly organized folder on the glass coffee table, the thump echoing in the stillness. "What's this, Mark?" Richard asked, his voice laced with condescension. He didn't touch the folder. Didn't even glance at it, typical, acting like he was above it all. "Evidence," I said, my voice steady, surprisingly calm. "Evidence of where our money, my children's money, has been going." Claire shifted uncomfortably, finally meeting my gaze. There was a flicker of something in her eyes, fear, uncertainty, a tiny sliver of doubt, perhaps. Richard scoffed. "Don't be absurd, Mark. Claire made a sound financial decision. I'm simply managing her assets." He gave me that smarmy smile, the one that always made my skin crawl. "Managing?" I echoed, opening the folder. "Is that what you call siphoning funds into your failing company, Richard? Is that sound financial management?" I slid the bank statements across the table, each transfer highlighted in bright yellow marker. The dates, the amounts, the account numbers, all there in black and white. Undeniable. Richard's face paled. He looked at Claire, then back at me, his eyes narrowed. "This is nonsense," he blustered. "Claire, tell him this is all above board." Claire didn't speak. She just stared at the documents, her face ashen. I pressed play on my phone. Richard's voice, clear and arrogant, filled the room. It was the recording from our last conversation. The one where he called me a financial failure, where he gloated about taking control of Claire's assets. The one where he laughed about taking my kids' college fund. The blood drained from Claire's face. She looked at Richard, her eyes wide with disbelief and dawning horror. You lied to me," she whispered, her voice trembling. "Claire, it's not what it looks like," Richard began, but she cut him off. "Don't," she said, her voice rising. "Don't you dare lie to me again. You used me. You used me to steal from Mark, from our children." The power shifted in that moment. The air crackled with it. Richard's smug facade crumbled. He looked like a cornered rat. The king was checkmated. "Claire, I can explain." "No," she shouted, standing up, her chair scraping against the polished floor. "I don't want to hear it. I'm done, we're done." She turned to me, tears streaming down her face. "Mark, I'm so sorry. I didn't know." I looked at her, at the woman I loved, the woman I thought I knew. I saw the fear, the regret, the genuine remorse in her eyes. And in that moment, I knew it was over. Not just the marriage, but the years of manipulation, the power imbalance, the constant feeling of inadequacy. It was finally over. I took a deep breath. "We'll talk later, Claire," I said quietly. I turned to Richard, my voice hardening. "As for you, Richard, we're not done, not even close. You messed with the wrong mechanic." I gathered my things, Sarah standing beside me, a silent guardian. As we walked out, leaving Richard alone in his sterile palace of lies, I felt a sense of not quite victory, not yet, but something close, something like liberation. I had exposed the truth. I had stood my ground, and I had finally taken back control. The fight wasn't over, but I knew deep down that I was going to win. For my kids, for myself, for the future. It's been 6 months since the confrontation at Richard's house. 6 months since my world imploded and then somehow started to rebuild itself. It's been messy, complicated, and definitely not a Hollywood ending, but here's where things stand. The immediate fallout was brutal. Claire was devastated, absolutely wrecked by the realization of what Richard had done, how he'd used her, manipulated her. There were a lot of tears, a lot of apologies. I honestly felt bad for her. She'd been so blinded by his promises, by her own insecurities, that she couldn't see what he was really doing. The divorce was finalized a few months ago. It was surprisingly amicable, considering. Claire agreed to a settlement that prioritized the kids. I have primary custody, which was huge. They're with me most of the time, and seeing them happy, seeing them start to heal has been the best part of all this. I also kept the house, which was another win. It's not much, but it's ours and it's stable. As for Richard, well, let's just say karma is a bitch. The lawyer Sarah found for me was a goddamn bulldog. He dug up everything on Richard, not just the stuff related to me but other shady dealings, years of it. Turns out, Richard's empire was built on sand. He's facing multiple lawsuits, potential criminal charges, and his reputation is in tatters. He's pretty much a pariah in his social circles, which honestly couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. Family-wise, it's been mixed. My sister Sarah has been my absolute rock through all of this. I can't even begin to express how grateful I am for her. She's more than just a sister now, she's my best friend, my confidant. My parents have been supportive too, in their quiet way. They're not the touchy-feely type, but they've been there for me, and that means the world. Claire's family, on the other hand, well, let's just say they're still drinking the Richard Kool-Aid. They blame me for everything, for driving Claire away, for ruining Richard's life. I've cut off contact with most of them. It's toxic, and I don't need that kind of negativity in my life, especially not around the kids. Claire and I were cordial. It's a work in progress. She's in therapy, trying to rebuild her life, trying to regain the kids' trust. It's slow going, but I see the effort she's making, and I respect that. I don't know if we'll ever be friends, but we're committed to co-parenting, to putting the kids first. And that's what matters. As for me, I'm different. This whole experience has changed me. I'm not that quiet, unassuming mechanic anymore. I've found my voice. I've learned to stand up for myself, to fight for what I believe in. I've learned that I'm stronger than I ever thought possible. I'm still a mechanic, still fixing cars, but I'm also a father, a survivor, and a goddamn warrior. So Reddit, that's my update. It's been a hell of a ride, and the road ahead is still uncertain, but I'm facing it head-on. What do you think? Any of you been through something similar? Any advice for navigating the messy aftermath of betrayal and rebuilding trust? Let me know. I could use the support.